Chris and Cash Show.
I'm tired. Scotty's tired, man.
Chris and Cash Show.
Goddamn fucking kids being Grumpus Maximus already.
Chris
Podcast
and Cash
just started. He wants to go to sleep. Wants me to just rant for 20 minutes about Belichick. Damn it, might happen.
You gonna say it? Chris and Cash Show.
Chris and Cash Show. Chris and Cash podcast.
Thursday, February 8th, 2018.
Yeah, he's 8:40 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. He's looking at his...
Patriots suffered one of the most devastating and pathetic losses in Super Bowl history.
I don't know if I'd say devastating.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
It was a close game.
If I told you before the game, Brady's going to throw for 505 and they're going to put up 33 points, would you think they were going to lose? Absolutely not.
Thought it would have been close.
Absolutely not.
No, because I expected Philly to score 30 points.
No,
they
because
could have scored more than that. Like
I said, as bad as this defense is, and it's horrible. It's officially the worst in the Super Bowl era. The 2011 team's off the hook. They're horrible. As bad as they were,
I told you this team statistically was our worst defense in 2011. Right? I gave you the stats.
I said if you had told me that before the game, I would have said.
I gave you the stats.
No,
the defense sucked.
No. Brady 505 and 33 points. I'm talking. If you told me that before the game, I was like, all right, this defense is friggin' horrible, but they should be able to hold them to 30 or less.
The first thing I want to say that I learned from this game was how much more replaceable Belichick is than Brady. Seriously. Now you can be like, Jimmy Garoppolo. We're just watching that song, by the way. No.
Not by choice.
And we will talk about Jimmy Garoppolo after a lot of different things, and I'll probably reference him here and there, but honestly, Tom Brady is irreplaceable. And Belichick's coaching, meh. I'm pissed at Belichick. I am. I'm livid. He cost us a Super Bowl.
You're full of piss and vinegar. Go ahead.
He cost us a Super Bowl, dude. He did.
I'm not sure if he did.
Dude.
I'm going to let you go.
This was basically Parcells. But instead of him leaving, he just decided to randomly bench a player right before the game when no one fucking knew about it. You know, hey, Scotty, if I came up to you 5 minutes before and was like, guess what? You're going to start in the Super Bowl, and the best guy over there is going to sit. What do you think? How would you feel about that? Because Eric Rowe didn't fucking know.
That term is used loosely.
What?
The best. I mean, I guess he was the best defensive back by default, but it's not like he had a good year.
Well,
actually, I take that back.
Gilmore was probably better.
Gilmore actually showed up in the Super Bowl. He was fine.
Okay, pre-Super Bowl. Okay, this is what Butler said. Okay, this is pre-Super Bowl. Anything that happened to me is my fault. It has nothing to do with anything. It's possible to just have a shitty season. It is what it is. I'm just worried about the Eagles. Does that sound like a guy that's out partying every fucking day?
No.
Okay. Continued. Then they said, did you really say that? So they kept asking him follow-up questions. Compared to the rest of them, the rest of his seasons, I do. I think I had a shitty season. I have high standards. I didn't meet my goals. I just feel that way. There are ups and downs, a lack of consistency. But it isn't about me. It's about the team. Does that feel like a guy that's not going to give you his all?
No.
No. And so then you go out there. He has a bad week of practice. What the fuck ever. Maybe he missed curfew. I don't fucking know. Because supposedly it wasn't a disciplinary issue. I told you the night of. Well, actually I told you the next morning. But I talked to someone I know. I know really 5 or 6 people with inside connections technically to Foxborough, okay? Mm-hmm. The one guy I know that knows someone... No, seriously, though, because I know a kid... One of my cousins knows the younger Belichicks. You know what I mean? Like, you never get real information, but let's be real.
Why can't he get his jobs as equipment guys, though?
I don't want to be a fucking phone guy.
Why?
I know another guy that knows...
Make like 60 a year just to deflate football.
I have another family member that knows people that are equipment guys and was there when... Oh, my God, who was it? The Colts GM was like, we're going to fucking get you for this.
No, it was Mike Kensel.
Mike Kensel, yeah.
Gregson was the GM.
Greg Kensel came right up to him and was like, we're going to fucking get you guys for this.
No, you're in fucking trouble, he said.
Oh, whatever.
Wait the balls, you're in fucking trouble.
Yeah, whatever he said to him. My uncle knows the employee that he literally went right up to and was basically like, yeah, we're going to fucking get you. And he was like, we had no idea what he was talking about. We were like, who is this guy? Like, well, not who is this guy? But what do you mean? You know what I mean? I completely forgot where I was. I just know I'm pissed. I'm livid. Dude, there are 2 defenses. I don't care about the weed, if he smoked weed, or if he supposedly missed curfew, or whatever, because that was what I was saying. The night of, I talked to someone who has an inside source, and he said it was about weed and curfew. The guy that he knows that works for the team said it was about weed and curfew. Then that came all out the next day. I told you guys that in the morning. Like it was about weed and curfew, supposedly. Then a bunch of other people said that's not true. I don't fucking know what's true. I can tell you what, though. Lawrence Taylor, I'm sure did worse than weed and curfew.
I told you he thought the.
I understand he
thought the hashtags.
Yeah, you're gonna tell me that. Oh, it's Lawrence Taylor. Well, I didn't say Malcolm Butler was Lawrence Taylor. That's not what I'm saying.
It is Lawrence Taylor.
And I understand that was Parcells was the head coach, and not Belichick. I don't fucking care. There are two defenses or reasons you could possibly sit Malcolm Butler. Number one, pulled an Aaron Hernandez and killed people outside of raping everybody. Okay? I'm pretty sure that didn't happen.
Hernandez never raped anybody.
No, I'm saying one of the two. He could have done either one of those things. That would be justification for sitting him. The other option is you really think it's a football move, and it's a true football move, and you fucking basically Grady Little in the Super Bowl in front of everybody. And then, to make matters worse, you don't figure out that it's still the wrong fucking move after halftime or after the first quarter.
So that's my biggest problem.
Okay? Because then you're John Farrell in it. And you're not understanding that you can do a double switch in the Super Bowl. Oh my God, I can take him out? I can put him in? Can I do that? I thought once I sat him, I couldn't put him back in. Like, did Belichick forget how to coach?
If it truly was...
Did he forget how to coach? Was that not a Grady Little times fucking John Farrell right there?
Here's the part that bothers me.
All we needed was him with a fucking Wade Phillips face looking confused like, ah.
If you take Belichick at his word and you believe what Schefter writes, and I believe basically anything Schefter writes...
Rappaport said it was a mixture. I believe Rappaport too, though.
If you go by Belichick and Schefter, just those two
Poor
guys.
practices.
Well, no.
That's what they said. Poor practices, being sick, in a football decision.
Strictly a football decision. No disciplinary.
And that's where I was going to go. If you say it's strictly a football decision, there is one thing you can say. Okay? The entire team had problems covering bunches, which Philadelphia was going to do and obviously did do. And Malcolm Butler is an undersized guy, so against an RPO offense, okay, which is a run-pass option for those of you that don't know, a pulling guard is going to get fucking matched up against Malcolm Butler and block the shit out of him all the time. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think a pulling guard is still going to block Patrick Chung? Or Jonathan Batamosi? They're still a fucking lineman.
This is my biggest problem with it.
Okay? Is Jonathan Batamosi going to be able to get through a pulling guard?
No, he can't even make a tackle on third.
All right. So, might as well have Butler not be able to get through, right? Because Butler can at least cover on the... Presuming he can figure out, or they can figure out, maybe he really can't figure out trips bunches. I don't know. But we didn't have this problem.
Sunflower seed? What the hell?
No, we didn't have this problem pre-fucking Gilmore getting on the team, right? No. We never had problems with like giant busted coverages every fucking game.
What is Belichick's MO as a head coach?
Adapt, change, figure things out, make adjustments.
Second half adjustments.
He did none of them. He Grady Littled and then he John Farrell and goes dun 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 dun. And then he lost the fuck.
Second half.
It's almost like he threw the game. I don't think he did, but literally between him and McDaniels and Patricia, they were not prepared. They lost this game through coaching.
Oh, could you imagine being a Lions fan?
No.
Seeing that game and saying, this is
the guy fixing our defense? Yeah, seriously. They lost this game through coaching. Guy? Through coaching, they lost this game. This is the worst. I love Belichick, right? In general.
Sure.
Not right now. I've always told you I thought he was the greatest GM
in years, not alls.
Right. No, but always
you were all over him 2 years ago. You were all over him 4 years ago.
But I always think he's the greatest GM and coach ever, really.
Sure.
Okay. I've always said in the coaching universe, it's Belichick and John Farrell on the other end, right? I've always said that. We've talked about this. It's been on this podcast.
Tyronn Lue, even though we want a title.
No, but Farrell's worse than Lue. At least Tyronn Lue knows he can put people back in and out. Or what he can do in his actual fucking game, okay? John Farrell's like, can I put in that picture? Can I do that?
Yeah, okay, get to your point.
Okay? What do I think fucking Belichick's worst decision ever was?
Garoppolo.
Not anymore. It's fucking sitting Butler. You cost the Super Bowl. Maybe we can't definitively say, okay, but I'm pretty sure Butler can make one fucking play. That's all you needed.
I'm on the fence here, and I'll tell you why.
I'm not on the fence. There's no fence. Goddamn, burn that motherfucker down.
I'm not convinced that playing Butler would have made a difference because he had a bad year. He admitted it. He had a bad year.
I understand that. That doesn't mean he can't make one play.
But here's my biggest issue with it. Again, if we're taking Belichick and Schefter at their word that this had nothing to do with discipline,
which is possible. I told you the bunching receivers is a run-pass option. Butler is undersized.
Maybe Belichick didn't like him in that personnel.
Right. Butler would have been the slot guy. He would have been covering Aguilar. He was undersized. But this is what you ended up with. You ended up with Jordan Richards.
This is my
Patrick Chung covering speedsters.
Who should be bagging groceries. I've seen enough.
Chung?
Cut his
ass. Chung's fine.
Richards.
Richards.
Second round pick.
That was a bad pick.
He went to Stanford. He might be able to do calculus. He can't fucking
Every time we go to watch the fucking draft, the second round pick seems to be like retarded. They're like Jimmy Garoppolo, and we're like, what the fuck? Tavon Wilson, we're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Jordan Richards, we're like, what are you doing, Belichick?
We didn't even go last year.
Did we?
I don't think we did.
No? What happened last year?
No, the year before we did. I can't remember that. I can't remember that far back. I can't remember. I think I was not in the mood to go. It was something.
I don't know, man.
Here's my biggest problem with this, Chris. And I'm not going to say that this cost him a Super Bowl. I'm not going to go there.
I am.
I think...
probably.
No, I think what he did in April, May, June, July, and August cost you a Super Bowl. The front seven, it never improved.
Let me
It never
explain
went out
something
and
to
made
you,
a move.
What is the strength of this defense?
The secondary.
Why are you sitting one of your best secondary players?
I'm gonna get to my
If he sat McCourty and put in Jordan Richards the whole game,
probably better.
no, McCourty is actually.
By the
good
way,
player.
I'm tired of people talking about him like he's Ronnie Lott. He
I
stinks.
know I said he was fucking Ronnie
He
Lott.
stinks.
Ronnie Lott's possibly the greatest safety ever.
He had a
Probably is the
bad
greatest
year.
safety ever.
Even Patriots writers who cover the team admitted he had a
A
bad,
bad year for him. That's not a bad year. He's still above
He
average.
still didn't have a good year.
Still above average,
He
dude.
was below
You
average.
need to start having some really shitty defensive players in your team, like worse than the good ones. I mean, we have some really shitty ones, but if you look at like Jonathan Batamosi compared to, I mean, he had a couple good games, but compared to say,
Oh, remember
Devin McCourty?
No, remember
Come on
last
now.
year? Everyone thought Landon Roberts was like the next Ray Lewis for like
Right,
a
he
couple
sucks.
weeks. He looked good in comparison, and then they start to figure him out. This is my problem with the Butler thing. You alluded to it. We alluded to it.
You divided the locker room.
No, I'm not even talking about that.
I am.
I'm not even talking about that because he did that with Lawyer Malloy in the past too. I get it was the first week of the year.
That's not the Super
And
Bowl.
eventually they
if
get
he
over
cut
it.
William Malloy pre-Super Bowl, that would have been a problem, dude.
Yeah,
Don't you think?
just a little bit. And they, I think part of the reason he signed Harrison was A, because he thought he had something left and he was right, and then some, and B,
He wasn't-
put pressure on Malloy to take a team.
And that's why you could get rid of him.
So Malloy said, "Fuck
Look,
you, I'm not."
if Jonathan Batamosi came in the game and was the greatest cornerback ever,
We'd be
and we were like,
blowing
wow, that was why he did it?
we'd be blowing.
Right, that was why he did it, then that would make sense. But you don't sit Butler, and then all your cornerbacks you bring in. Jordan Richards. Did you want to see Butler out there or Jordan Richards? I'm watching Jordan
I'd rather
Richards in
see you
cover.
out there.
Right. I'm watching. That's what I said in the game, too. I'm watching Jordan Richards try to cover Clement. I'm like, he can't cover this dude. The dude's just running by him for 55-yard fucking receptions. I'm like, what are you doing? He can't cover this guy.
He can't play football.
Why is he out there?
He can't cover. He can't tackle. I don't know what he does.
Right.
All right, so
He learns the system, and he doesn't fight about contracts. Why does Belichick fuck with people? He always fucks with the dudes that mess with their own contracts. Why did he trade Vrabel?
he popped off saying something.
Popped off about his contract. He popped off about some other things.
No, he said.
He did.
No, he said Kraft as Patriot place. He has all this money. You can't pay me a fucking contract. Something
Right.
like that.
Contract. What happened to Randy Moss? Contract. Why did Wes Welker start to get?
I think he thought Randy was on the way out too.
He probably was.
Physically.
But But I think he would have been. I think he would have had a couple more good years if he stayed here. To be honest with you. Come on, with Gronk and Hernandez, starting to develop. Are you serious? Question: what happened to Wes Welker in 2012?
He was
Who's-
trying to face him out.
Yeah, Edelman was trying to
got
start
hurt.
over him. Then Edelman and fucking Hernandez got hurt, so he had to go back to Welker, and Welker was an all-pro. Okay?
120 catches.
This is the thing. Belichick doesn't like guys that mess with him with contract. Why did Mankins end up getting dealt right before the season started? Because Mankins always bitched about his contract. Belichick wants to stick it to these guys. He's arrogant, and he's too prideful. So when someone starts fighting with you about contract, eventually Belichick sticks it to him. This was Belichick. Who did Malcolm Butler sit against, or not start against in the regular season?
I can't remember
New Orleans. Why?
because it was his hometown. I can't remember.
Because it was the team that was offering him a contract and he almost got traded to.
Yeah.
They agreed to terms, but the Patriots never traded him there. Belichick fucks with these guys when they mess with him with contract.
I want to get back to the point I've been
Well,
trying
you
to
will,
make
but
for
I'm
the last
telling you,
10 minutes.
Belichick did this on purpose. This wasn't just a football move. It was a football move. I'm pissed at you. You suck. Guess what? Let's sit you in front of everyone. That's what it was.
But it was his last game with the Patriots anyway. He ain't coming back.
Right. What better way to embarrass somebody, Scotty?
This is my.
I can win a Super Bowl without you.
We're
and make
gonna
you
win
cry.
it without you, right?
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
That's exactly what that was.
The only problem is that they couldn't win without him. But look, here's the thing. I'm not
And that's
gonna.
when Belichick was like, shit, Tommy got strip sacked?
I'm not gonna say. I still expected them to win at that point.
So did I. Dude, are you kidding me? I was like, oh, they're going to go down and score 6.
I said this is exactly what we want. Him with the ball in his hands with 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
Perfect. This is the one time the Super Bowl worked out that way. That they had the ball left.
I know. Well, and the funny thing is, right before that, you can go back to the other point in a minute. We were talking. I was talking with one of my friends that I was watching the game with, my cousin's friends, and we were like, "How much time does Brady need to score a touchdown?" I'm like, "Touchdown." Well, we said field goal. It's like a field goal, 40 seconds, maybe a timeout, maybe not, 40 seconds probably. I was like a touchdown. I was like 2 minutes in any type of timeouts. You have infinity. That's like forever for Brady. I was like, realistically though, he probably needs a minute 15 in a timeout. When we got the ball back, I was like,
2:21.
yeah, but then when we got the ball, the last drive, I was like, it's not a minute 15. We have no timeouts. Not enough time. It's true. It's all about time. If you give Brady time, it's going to happen. Time and chances.
I'm not. Who got beat? Mason?
Shaq Mason.
Yeah. But the offensive
To be honest, Shaq Mason's been a very good player.
The offensive line wasn't the issue.
No, Shaq Mason is better at run blocking than pass blocking. But he's improved pass blocking a lot this season.
Here's my biggest problem with Belichick, and I'm not going to sit here and say that benching Butler cost a game. I'm not going there. We'll never know, obviously, but I don't. He may have made a slight there. Well, who knows? This is what I do know. We alluded to it earlier. He's the best adjustment coach in the league.
Forever. That's what he actually sucks at game planning. Great adjustments. That's why they go down every game. Right?
Just once I'd like to see him get out to a fast start.
They can't because he's a shitty game planner, apparently.
Here is my biggest issue. First half, what you were trying, it wasn't working.
Right.
Swallow your pride and put him out there and try something different.
Even if this was disciplinary or football related, by the end of the first quarter or the end of the first half, he should have realized, like, it's like Grady Little. We watched him for one batter and we said, Grady, what are you doing? Get him out. Then the second batter came in and everyone said, Grady, what the fuck? Get him out. And by the third batter, people that don't know anything about fucking baseball are throwing things at the TV trying to yell at Grady Little to get the fucking Pedro out of there. Am I wrong?
No, that sucks.
That's exactly what this was. This was a Grady Little times John Farrell, but by Bill Belichick in the Super Bowl. And then Peterson coached a pristine game for the most part, and Belichick looked like a fucking Goomba.
Tip of the cap. And also, too, we're talking about everything that the Patriots did wrong. We really need to start giving credit to the Eagles.
Oh.
Everyone around here needs to start giving credit to the Eagles. They played a perfect game.
You're missing. I'm not trying to take anything away from the Eagles.
I understand
really
that.
not.
No, I'm talking about other people.
I mean, I thought the Eagles were going to score 30 points. That's 3 touchdowns, 3 field goals, okay?
No, other people were saying, like, oh, the Patriots blew it. I'm like, well, Philly went out and won the game.
The Eagles scored 5 touchdowns and 2 field goals. Is that right?
It was against the
3
worst.
field goals.
It was against the worst defense in Super Bowl history, but still.
Eagles scored 5 touchdowns and 3 field goals, I think. That's 8 fucking scoring drives, Scotty. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. That guy had balls. He went for it on 4th and 1, which, by the way, I don't know how somebody didn't cover Foles. And I don't know why. That's where Belichick
talking
fucked
about
up
the goal
too.
line?
Yeah.
Before the
I'm
half?
going to show you right now where Belichick fucked up, okay? Belichick fucked up in 2 spots, okay? We're going to go to the Pro Football Football
it's
Reference.
Take a second. This is
pull up the game.
is depressing talking about.
Well, it's depressing because, look, I didn't expect the Patriots to win, and I really thought they were going to lose. But it's the way that they lost and how they lost and why they lost that I'm upset about.
I would have felt much better if they lost 41-17.
I'm actually okay with the loss.
See, I disagree with Tyler. Like, I think it's much better if you get blown out because you can mentally check out early.
I don't know if I feel that way, but I'm okay with the loss. I'm just mad with the loss because...
Oh, you're okay with the loss? I think it sucks.
Comparative to... Okay, 2007, 2011...
Brady...
the 2013 Stanley Cup Finals was worse than this, man. Game 6?
Brady put them up with 9 minutes to go, and the defense, they were one stop away from winning the Super Bowl again and going back-to-back.
And that's Doug Peterson going for it on 4th down, bro.
And they could not get off the fucking
By the way, and I'm not
field.
trying to say the refs caused anything because they let them play, but the huge pick there. Huge pick. That gets called in the Patriots all the time.
Yeah, but it's
I don't think they were calling.
I have no problem with this.
Oh, they weren't calling anything.
I thought the official.
But you know how I feel about that. You know how I feel about that from the San Francisco fucking Ravens Super Bowl.
I don't know how you feel. I thought the officiating was fine.
Officiating was pretty good. It missed a bunch. Well, I did not like the touchdowns because they're never touchdowns in the regular season. They're not. They're always called back.
Well, the Ertz touchdown with 2 minutes left, he was a runner. He caught the ball and then he was a runner.
See, but if the Des Bryant doesn't count, that's ridiculous.
The Des Bryant and the Jesse James ones were kind of bang plays. He caught the ball, literally ran for like 4 steps.
I have a thing where it shows them next to each other. Des Bryant has the ball just as long. He takes 2 steps. His 3rd step, he's falling, and he dives over and reaches out. Come on, dude.
To say the least, they need to clarify the rule.
Right. Des Bryant's was a catch. I have no problem with Ertz's being a catch.
Des Bryant's was a catch.
If Des Bryant's was a catch. If Jesse James's was a catch. A catch should be, and I said this...
Possession 2 feet down, it should be a catch.
Justice Potter Stewart, I think it was the 60s, was asked to define pornography because the Supreme Court was talking about pornography. And he said, it's something I can't really define, but I know it when I see it. You know a fucking catch when you see it. That Ertz one was probably a catch, but if that's a catch, the Jesse James one has to be a catch.
I thought they were all
Des Bryant one's has to be catch. The Calvin Johnson Megatron one from years ago where he slams the ball down himself. That's a catch, dude.
We had one of the biggest arguments we ever had in our text chain about Des Bryant, if you can remember.
That was a catch.
It was a catch.
I still think it's a catch.
Me, you, and someone else said it was a catch, and like 3 other people
Dude,
said it
he went 7 yards with the ball, took 3 steps and dove for the end zone. If you're not a runner, if that's not a football move, diving for the end zone and stretching your arm out, then what's a football move?
He was down at the 1.
Right.
Down at like the half-yard line or whatever it was.
But he was diving for the end zone. Okay, so second quarter. Okay.
Bad day for special teams.
Second quarter.
One of them was a bad snap. That wasn't really Gostowski's fault.
I'm not.
But he still missed.
Gostowski needs to go.
He missed an extra point. Need to go.
Gostowski needs to go.
Really?
Yeah.
He was fine.
He's missed an extra point in each of the last 3 championship games they've had. The Super Bowl, the AFC championship game.
Extra point. The field goal wasn't his fault because it was a bad snap. The extra point, I agree with you. You're indoors.
Why did you lose in Denver 2015? Why did you have to go for 2 so many times against Atlanta? The motherfucker misses extra points like it's supposed to happen.
Blame Belichick. He's the one who got the rule changed.
Right, but
it used to be like 10 feet.
Gostowski used to always make them. He never missed 33 yarders before. Now he can't hit a 33 yarder to save his life. Huge mistake by Belichick right here, okay? Nick Foles, pass complete, short right to Corey Clement for 55 yards. By the way, that was the one I think he burned Jordan Richards like he didn't exist. Okay? How much time happens from that play to the next play?
50-something seconds, almost a minute.
57 seconds, ladies and gentlemen.
No, not 57, 53.
53 seconds, sorry, you're right. 53 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, between that play and the next play. Because the play happened, it was a pretty long play, and then the Eagles brought the play clock down all the way. The Patriots had
how many timeouts?
3 timeouts left.
Take one, right.
He lets 53 seconds go off the clock when the Eagles are already at the 8-yard line. They're going to get their 3 plays in, buddy. They have timeouts too. There's 0 reason why a good coach doesn't take a timeout there. Because then maybe, just maybe, Tom Brady gets the ball back with more than 34 seconds and can actually bring him down for a field goal. And that matters in that game, right? Mm-hmm. An extra field goal here or there matters. Mm-hmm. That's a huge fucking whiff by the greatest coach of all time. We talk about clock management all the time. Just like I brought up the 4th and 2 clock management mistake, or the 2012 clock management mistake, he was horrible with the clock in this game. It's like he didn't know how to coach the whole game. Literally. The only reason you win this game is because Tom Brady was godlike. Other than that, no. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
That's why I think this game...
Brady almost won the game by himself.
This game vastly diminishes Belichick's legacy. He's still the greatest coach ever, but a lot of holes that people can see here.
Yeah, you know what, though? If they go 15-1 next year and win the Super Bowl and dominate, then no one will remember.
Of course, and he's already the greatest ever, Belichick. But this one, even in a loss, I think Brady's legacy was enhanced. Do you agree or disagree with that? Even in a loss.
Brady almost won this game by himself.
Single-handedly.
Which was unbelievable.
505 yards against the second-best defense ranked statistically in advanced statistics of the NFL. Put 505 yards on.
That was just, you know why it was a tough one? Because they finally had Brady had the ball last, and there was no doubt in my mind that he was going to lead him down the field and win.
I knew that the ending was going to be the way it was with the Hail Mary.
With 2:20, when he had the ball, with 2:21 left,
I thought he was going to score.
I thought they were going to win.
Oh, of course. I thought he was going to go down, score a touchdown. They were going to do a 2-point conversion, make it. Philly wasn't even going to get to a field goal, and they were going to lose. So I thought it was going to happen. We were up 5. Philly was up 5. Thought the Patriots were going to score a touchdown, get the 2-point conversion, and win. That's what I thought. No doubt in my mind at that moment.
You want a stat here? There were 11 plays on 3rd down for Philly in this game when they were on offense. 11. And they not only did they pick up the first down, on 3rd and 10, we're talking 3rd and longs, there were 11 of them. They picked up 10+ yards. Do you know how fucking bad that is?
Okay. I'm going to go back to Belichick still.
Do you know what that is? That is your front 7.
Eric Rowe.
No pressure, no linebackers.
Eric Rowe, when asked about if Butler could have helped. Yeah, definitely. Okay? That's the guy that played instead of him. He basically wanted Butler to play. This is the coverage stats, okay? When targeting specific players. When targeting Gilmore, Foles was 1 for 5 for 7 yards. He let up 7 yards the whole game and 2 pass breakups. Against Rowe, he was 4 for 9 for 80 yards, a touchdown and 3 pass breakups. Against Chung, he was 3 for 6 for 56 yards. Against McCourty, he was 3 for 5 for 13 yards and a touchdown. Against Richards, he was 2 for 2 for 74 yards. Against Batamosi, he was 1 for 1 for 17 yards. Against Harmon, he was 0 for 1 with an interception, technically.
That's a misleading stat.
I know.
He dropped it. That should have been 1st and goal.
He burnt everybody. Foles was 6 for 7 for 137 yards when targeting Rowe, Batamosi, and Richards on third down.
Why wouldn't you?
He gained more than 20 yards of fucking completion and almost 20 yards of play on third down against those guys. Because Butler wasn't in the game. That's ridiculous.
Here's my point, though, Chris. What's to say he wouldn't have done that against Butler, too?
When's the last time you saw Butler giving up 20 yards of play?
I don't know, but people are talking about like he's Deion Sanders.
No.
It's ridiculous.
I'm just going to say, he's not Deion Sanders. He's not Lawrence Taylor. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. The guy's also not Jonathan Batamosi or Jordan Richards.
Richards, I'll give you.
He's not Jonathan Batamosi. He's a better player, Scotty. He's a B-plus player.
I want Richards off this team.
This would be like if Hightower was healthy and they sat him. Football decision.
He's never healthy.
Well, I understand that.
Never have to worry about it.
But that's being like, oh, don't worry. And Landon Robertson and Kyle Van Noy got this. Hightower's injured. Hightower's not part of the football decision. Okay? Butler after the game. They gave up on me. Fuck. It is what it is. I could have changed the game. Okay? Then he says later, it was coach's decision. I was just doing my job and supporting my teammates. I have nothing but great things to say about the organization. They gave me an opportunity. That's about it. This guy got fucked. And it's because of his contract, because Belichick's a prick. Let's be real. I don't think it had anything to do about weed. None of that, necessarily. Ridiculous. I'm pissed. Okay? Eagles players. And Eagles coaches. An Eagle assistant said, after the game, after the first series or two, we were like, this guy's not in the game. They have 23 in there. That's crazy. Okay? That's Chung. Butler's absence was huge. Okay? Blah, 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 blah. The plan was to go after Rowe. We couldn't get Elshon on him. We had Rowe on our team in Philly, so we knew it was a mismatch. Okay? When asked about it, Torrey Smith said he studied Butler. Didn't study 25. Didn't study Rowe. Why would you? Butler's actually a good player. If you read Emmanuel Sanders' piece on the Players Tribune, he talked about how Malcolm Butler's one of the 5 best cornerbacks he ever played against. Because he's gritty. He always competes. He never gives up. You had a team that looked like they were giving up the entire time on defense, and you don't play a guy named Scrap. That's his nickname.
I just don't think they're good.
But Butler is. Butler is, though. Your defense had been good the second half of the season. I'm going to give them that.
Oh, my God, stop it.
But they were. Sorry.
I don't care. I don't care what the numbers say. I go with my eyes.
Browner called him out. Ninkovich called him out. Even Ty Law called him out. A bunch of people called Belichick out. It was the wrong thing to do. Belichick's going to get over it. He's going to be the greatest coach ever. He's never going to answer it. People are going to do and Bill Retrust. It's the wrong thing. He's wrong. He can't have that much power and just do these things and get away with it all.
I would have just tried it in the second half because everything he was trying was not working.
Rowe even said that wasn't the plan, that Malcolm wasn't going to play at all. He was supposed to be much less of the game plan than he normally is, than his 98% snaps, which, by the way, was the highest.
He said he didn't know he was starting until 5 minutes before the game.
Right. The plan was Malcolm was going to play just less than normal because of the way Philly runs their offense. For him to play not at all is ridiculous. Philly was 10 for 16 on third downs and 2 for 2 on fourth downs. You don't think Malcolm Butler can stop that?
Not sure.
At all.
I'm not sure.
Seriously.
If it really had nothing to do with discipline, he must have really felt like he was going to get torched even worse than the clowns that he got out there. Which I may not agree with, but he knows more football than you or I do.
I know we were going to say that. At some point I was going to say, look, Belichick probably knows more football than me, but I'm smart enough to know that Malcolm Butler would have been a better fit.
I would have at least tried a series to see what happened. Try a series.
Try 2. Jesus Christ. What happened against Seattle?
He benched Arrington. Put
Why?
Butler in there.
Because Arrington couldn't cover the guy they had him on, right?
Well, no, it was Chris Matthews. It was a tall receiver.
And Arrington couldn't cover him because he's like 4 feet tall.
Browner actually said, no, put me on him.
Right.
He's too fucking small.
Right.
That was Browner, not Belichick.
Maybe Browner, right. Browner called up Belichick and was like, look, he did it wrong. That's not what you do, blah, blah. Ninkovich called up Belichick. A lot of people did. They talked a lot of shit about Belichick this week. Ex-Patriots.
I know.
And even Ty Law, I mean, I'm not going to go into what everyone said. He said, we need to get to the bottom of the Malcolm Butler situation. I'm baffled about this one. We need this man on the field. He's a much better player than you're giving him credit for.
Like Malcolm Butler shops at fucking Sears?
Yeah, I don't fucking shop at Sears. Okay, anyways, let's get over the Belichick stuff and the Super Bowl loss.
You want to talk to McDaniels?
Talk about Brady. Brady was awesome.
There's nothing more to say about Brady.
He's incredible. Won the MVP. I know you don't care.
Yeah,
It is a big deal.
three-time MVP.
It is a big deal.
I would
know
have
you don't
rather have
care.
had the Super Bowl MVP.
I'm not saying everyone wants Super Bowl.
You know how, by the way, I'm glad you brought up Super Bowl MVP. Or the MVP. You know how I don't know the word, anti-losing team MVP of a series / game I am? Like Jerry West in 1969.
I know.
He was on a losing team. You said a few years ago LeBron should be the MVP. I'm like, no, his team lost.
No.
I don't agree with that whole premise. How valuable could you be if your team lost the game?
You're going to tell me Brady should have been MVP? Because it was close.
I wouldn't have disagreed if they gave it to him. He was that good.
I wouldn't have either. But I understand why Foles was.
He was brilliant.
I think Brady outplayed Foles.
Brady's been in 8 Super Bowls, and this was by far the best he's ever played.
Up there.
No, it's the best.
I'd say it's probably his
It's
best.
his best game.
Let me explain something to you, though.
It's his best game.
What he did against Atlanta, coming back, what he did against Seattle, and that being a generational defense, and the Carolina game, those games were all really good.
I take this one. I know they lost.
Obviously,
but
both Giants games were mediocre. The Philly game, he wasn't incredible, and the Rams game,
The
they didn't really
Philly
throw.
game, he was fine.
I didn't say it was bad. I'm talking about compared to the other games.
No, the other Philly game. The first Philly game.
Yeah,
the
that's
one
what I
they
meant.
won.
The
Yeah.
04 game.
But we were talking about 2 Philly games here. There's nothing to say about Brady. He's unbelievable. He's the best to ever do it
By far.
by a mile.
And that brings us to his former backup, Jimmy Garoppolo.
See, I want to talk about Josh. That's what
We can talk about Josh after. But look, you know what this contract tells me for sure? Belichick had to trade him. Had to. I'll tell you why. Belichick realized.
What you think?
Middle of the season, Belichick realized 3 fucking things.
Hold on though. You think Jimmy and Don Yeet drew a line in the sand and said we're getting this, or we'll
Something similar.
really?
This is what I think happened. Middle of the season, Belichick goes, okay, Brady's not in decline. Jimmy G isn't going to take a discount or a hometown deal. There's no bridge
I think
contract.
he tried. I think he tried.
I think he might have tried too. Like, supposedly no contract was actually offered, but I think Belichick put a feeler out there, and they were like, "Yeah, we're taking like 30 million, 25 million. Get out of here with that 18 million for 3 years crap, or whatever the kind of thing he offered
Right.
Uncle Butler." You know what I mean? And
We've
then
been saying that all along.
And then Belichick realized, all right, if I don't trade this guy now, he's going to lose value. Now, do I think Belichick got what he should have gotten? No, but I do think this, and many people have said this. Number one, Belichick always lets things play out as long as possible before he makes a decision. So that's what I think he did with Jimmy G. Number two, people that have dealt with Belichick, including John Lynch said it so in his press conference, Belichick doesn't F around when he's making deals. He just calls you and says, I got this for this. What's your answer? You say yes, or he walks. He doesn't go back and forth. He doesn't do what they do in movies, like in Moneyball, where you call back and forth and hang up on the GM and put him on hold. And Belichick doesn't do that. He goes, this is what I want, this is what I'm going. Is it a deal? John Lynch said as much. Belichick doesn't play games. It happens quick.
And people forget that John Lynch, even though he was cut,
Has a great relationship with Belichick.
they got along.
Great
really
relationship
well.
with him. He has a great relationship with Shanahan, too. Belichick does.
So I think a lot of sending him to San Fran was
Out of the conference.
Belichick felt it was a good spot for him.
Good spot for him.
Good ownership.
I
good-
think Belichick just wanted
well,
a second round pick back.
not good ownership, but good man.
I don't think Kraft would have Belichick to trade him. If he did, I think Belichick would have walked already. I'm going to tell you why.
I think Kraft indirectly said you have to trade him.
I don't think so.
Well,
Belichick-
saying that Brady's not going anywhere, what would you take that?
But let me
You got
explain
to read
something.
between the lines there.
Well, no, but Brady's not going anywhere anyways. He's the best player in the damn league. Why are you gonna pay the backup $30 million
I
to
just
back
walked
up
away
Tom
from Joe
Brady?
Montana.
I'm sorry, who? What?
Joe Montana.
Was what?
Niners walked away from him.
And he was what at that time?
Steve Young won 2 MVPs afterwards.
I have a question for you. He was what at that time, Joe Montana?
On the back nine, to say the least.
No. Okay, he was what at the time he was traded?
Injured.
Oh, okay. Does Tom Brady not have an arm right now? Because if he didn't, I could understand.
He was injured the
If
whole
Tom
season.
Brady's arm fell off and then they traded Jimmy Garoppolo and brought in Brian Hoyer, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? But Tom Brady's still the best player in football today. Okay? Today.
Yeah.
Got more power, more acceleration. Okay? Tom Brady, got more power. Oh, you already said that. Yeah, I know I already said that. My point is Tom Brady's still the best player in the NFL.
Yep.
You're not paying the backup $30 million to sit behind the best player in the NFL so you can get rid of or sit the best player in the NFL.
No, he was never going to. Oh, Tom's
Oh, you just broke Tom Brady's head off. You God damn it, Scotty. That's like a collectible.
I was trying to do Exorcist.
No, you did the exercise.
Oh,
Snap the dude in half. I'm pretty sure it just connects back and forth, though. But my point is, I don't think Kraft told Belichick anything. I really don't. I'll tell you why. Kraft tells Belichick that. Belichick walks away the day of because he walked away from the Jets in less than a day for less. Okay? Belichick doesn't play that game. Kraft knows that. That's how we lost Parcells. Kraft knows if he said that, Belichick would already be gone. And what's Belichick doing right now? I think he has 1 year left on his deal. That's the supposed.
Schefter said it's either 1 or 2. It's at least 1.
Well, someone put out 1 that he's through 2018 regardless.
Schefter said he might be through 2019.
He's going to stay for the next year or two.
It's so tight-lipped that they don't.
He makes probably 13 plus million-ish. Okay?
He's the highest paid coach.
Right. They already said he makes at least 12 and a half. But it's probably more than that. They can't put a number on it because no one knows. Okay? This is what I think happened. He's got only a year or 2 left. He said he didn't want a Don Shula, right?
We're talking about... No, Marv Levy is... What do you say?
I thought he said he didn't want to be Don Shula. Whoever he said.
Marv Levy. I don't want to be coaching in my 70s.
Okay. How old's Belichick?
He's going to be 66.
Okay. 2 more years puts him to what?
68.
Okay. What's he want to do at that time, probably?
Play with his grandkids.
Retire, right? Okay. He can then hand the organization off to who?
Daniels.
Okay. That's what happened here.
The other night is the first time I ever said to myself, shit, I think Belichick really is gone.
But he didn't leave yet.
Not gone. No, there's going to be a transition. I think... And then there's all this stuff like I'm going to show you I'm going to
show you how to GM. I'm going to show you the cap, all that stuff.
Even though the cap is very easy to figure out. I don't know why.
I know I can figure it out.
I suck at math.
I have cap stuff.
I suck at math. And
I'm going to show you cap stuff after where I'm like, look, this is how Belichick can make a bunch of cap space and this is what he should do.
No, what he needs to do is just rebuild the entire front seven. That's what he needs to do.
Well, we'll get into it in a minute, but I think literally
they
told McDaniels, look, you got 2 years, then you're the head coach.
I don't know if they put here's the thing. I don't know if they put a timetable on it.
Maybe they didn't.
I think they just left it open. Like, Bill's going to coach however long he wants to coach, but we're going to pay you X amount, which is way more than you've been making. Your kids get to stay in school, and you're next in line.
Yeah, people don't realize.
I think it went.
You know how much position coaches make in the NFL?
I have no idea.
6 figures. Good position. Position coaches, like safeties coach.
Yeah.
6 figures.
Sometimes. What about coordinators? Low 7?
More than that. Some of them make good 7s, like $2, $3, $4 million. The best ones. He's probably making $4 or $5 million as a coordinator.
What do you think they gave him? They had to give him a bump in pay.
I think he was probably around $2 to $3 million, and then he's now at like 5. Like so I think he's
doubled the salary.
I think he's bordering on head coach money, like really? Low end head coach money. That's the only way to get. And he's going to probably end up being assistant or associate head coach, whatever. Same difference.
Well, Skarnecki is technically the.
Not anymore. He was. He hasn't been since he came back.
Yeah.
Skarnecki was, and very few people know that, Skarnecki was an assistant head coach for like 10 years under Belichick. No one ever talked about him either. He was the assistant head coach. Skarnecki should be a Hall of Famer. I mean, I'm going to be the first one like parading Canton going, Skarnecki, yeah. Skarnecki. He needs to be a Hall of Famer.
Pete Rose needs to be too. Doesn't mean he's going to
relax. Be. Different sport. Skarnecki didn't bet on the game and toss it. Maybe he did. He's like
the Giants
Shaq
Super
Mason.
Bowl.
Let him in.
Giants Super Bowl.
Nah. Dude, that was just Logan Mankins and Matt Light getting destroyed. Logan Mankins was the worst big game player I've ever seen in my life.
Bad.
Logan Mankins was an incredible player and a beast. In a couple years, he was possibly the best offensive lineman in the whole thing.
But in big games,
he
never showed up.
He got tossed. He got blown by. He got destroyed. He got lit up. I mean, Knighton against the Denver that year,
13
tossed him,
mm-hmm.
Picked him up and physically was like, move, little man, I'm killing Tom Brady. Okay.
Ridiculous. So, how much of it? Because I find this whole thing fascinating. Because the
Colts 2018 Josh McDaniels finalists.
You stole my joke. I came up with that before you did.
No, but I said that part. Because you said, they should say, 2000.
They're going to hang a banner for
Hang a banner for being Josh McDaniels as the head coach. I'm like, no, it should say 2018 Josh McDaniels finalists. Because they put up the finalists banner.
Man, what
second place.
What a pathetic.
To be fair though,
franchise.
Ballard said the right things.
No, but yeah, the other thing that I find hilarious, the rivalry's back on. What rivalry? This isn't a rivalry.
We're first place, you're last place, buddy. What rivalry are you talking about here?
It hasn't been a rivalry since Manning left. Like, it hasn't been a rivalry for a while. No, but I'm fascinated by the Colt angle.
Why?
Because I'm starting to wonder, was it signed, sealed, delivered? before Kraft made his pitch and Belichick made his pitch, because they all met at Davio's like the other night. You realize that?
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Was what signed, sealed, delivered?
I gotta believe that he either. I think it's a combination of the family thing, the I'm next in line after Belichick, and holy shit, Luck isn't healthy.
From what I was told and heard, was told from one of my sources, and what I heard on TV as well from inside sources, people that kind of, McDaniels was given new information, seriously new information, and I think that information was about Belichick's contract, and maybe not his exact contract, like, oh, he's ending this date, like it might not be like guaranteed 2 years, but it was more of a, he has a few years left, and then you're going to be the transition plan.
So you think it's a handshake agreement, or do you think they said?
I think it's a handshake agreement. I don't think it's in writing. I think they signed him to a big.
See, I think that's important because
he just made an agreement and walked away.
He just committed career suicide outside of New England.
Probably.
He's toxic.
Not in a couple
His
years.
agent dropped him.
No, bull. And I'm going to tell you why.
Oh, stop that.
His agent dropped him, and let me explain something to you.
No, this is what we said.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. And I said. 2018.
I said, will Indy
McDaniels
hang a
finalist.
banner for getting McDaniels to commit to being the head coach for 48 hours? And you said, yup, LOL, Colts 2018 McDaniels finalist.
Yeah, because that's what it should say, because they're finalists. Remember, they didn't actually get it.
This actually just had the time on there.
No, I know. But let me explain something to you. Bob Lamont, his agent, left him. What everyone's forgetting about that is Bob Lamont is also Ballard's agent. So that's like if there was a guy that was an agent for both of us, and you hired me for a job, and then I gave you a big fuck you. The agent's obviously going to get rid of me because he still has to work with you. He still works with the other guy. There's a huge conflict of interest there. If he was just McDaniels' agent and not the GM's agent, guarantee he's not dropping him because he's making part of the money off him. This is what he said, though.
Jerry Maguire's not picking him up anytime soon.
Bob Lamont, his agent, said, okay, my word is my bond. Once you break that, there's nothing left. He also said, McDaniels perhaps made the biggest professional mistake of his career by backing out of the Colts job at this point. And he said he committed career suicide. Okay?
He's toxic now. Outside of New England, he is toxic.
That's why there's got to be some kind of deal.
Ever trust him
Number
again.
one, the family thing.
So that's what I'm saying.
The family thing didn't change, though. You realize he had 4 kids a couple days ago, right?
I was going to say, did
it's
he
not
pop
like,
out another
It's not like quadruplets just popped out. And he was like, oh, God, I got a family now. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how it happened. Like, if in 2 years I tell you I can't do the podcast because I have a family, you're going to be like, but you had a family. You've been doing the podcast. It doesn't really make sense.
What's my excuse?
Yeah, exactly. That's my point, though, is like you can't. That's been the case. Like, if you were like, oh, we can't, it's in my basement. I'm like, yeah, but that's been the case. Like, didn't change, man.
There's also rumblings that Kraft purposely did this. He waited until the last possible minute, threw all the money at him as a fuck you to the Colts.
Well, that's possible. I think that could be part of it. But I really think that Kraft looked around and said, shit, we lost Patricia. We're losing McDaniels. Judge is going to go with McDaniels. So are a couple of our other coaches, okay? Belichick's only got a few more years, and he really doesn't want to keep going for much longer. Brady's probably got a few more years, and then he's done. We're going to be sitting here with nothing. Kraft talked about many times with Parcells how he didn't like instability in the organization. He didn't like the year-to-year approach he had to work with Parcells because Parcells wouldn't sign a long-term deal. He didn't like that. So I can understand why he didn't let him shop for the groceries, because guess what, Parcells? He kept fucking with Kraft and not just giving him like a giant commitment of like, I'm going to be here for 5 years, let's get this done. Okay? Belichick has always signed big extensions ahead of time. But I think Belichick said, and he means it, I don't want to coach till I'm 70-something. He's probably got a couple years left.
This part of it, keeping McDaniels in line, having him the successor. Well, Josh loves me, so I know that my kids will have a job if he's head coach.
I think that is part of it.
That's part of it.
I think there's a chance that after this all happens, Belichick retires as a coach but stays on as GM, and he and Josh do this together, and he keeps his kids there. Because there was couple rumors, I'm not saying this is substantiated, that one of the reasons Butler was sad is because he got in a fight with Steve Belichick.
I don't believe that.
I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just telling you there was rumors. I can only give the information I'm given.
Here's, Chris Schefter over here. Also, the Brady angle.
Dude, I know an ex-cheerleader who still knows a little bit, but she doesn't get too much information.
Your cousin.
I know a chick that used to bang 3 Patriots. Okay? Seriously. I'll name 2 of them on air. No, but she's related to somebody that you know. One of my friends. She banged Spikes, Blount, and Chandler Jones. They're all gone now. But we get a lot of information.
Jungle fever.
I know. Well, yeah. I mean, most Patriots are black. I mean, just not banging Tom Brady. I mean, be honest. Giselle bangs Tom Brady. We've been over this. I know a guy that knows a low-level employee. Like, I think he's some kind of really small assistant coach. I have a cousin that knows the Belichick's, but the kids, really, through lacrosse. And I know an uncle that knows a equipment guy and was one of the people that, what's his face said? Kensel said, oh, we're going to fuck you guys over. Not the equipment guys that win that, but like another equipment guy. And I know ex-security guard who still talks to all the security guys there.
The Brady angle in all this. What is the probability that Brady went to Kraft and say, look, Bill's on the way out. I still want to play a few more years. Do whatever you can to bring back Josh.
I think that's part of it. I think there's a giant conglomeration of factors here. I think Brady said, Kraft, Belichick, can you guys please bring McDaniels back? I think Kraft
you think he said it to both of them?
Yeah, I probably did. See, this is the thing. I don't think Brady and Belichick have an incredible relationship.
I get the impression that Brady doesn't even want to be in the same room with Belichick.
I don't think that's true.
After the Super Bowl. I think he's pissed.
No, this is what I think. I think the players are pissed at Belichick for making the move, but they also know that, look, Belichick's won 5 Super Bowls for a reason. I think while they'll like Butler's stuff and they'll comment on it and they'll support Butler and they might think it's the wrong move, like I was listening to Gerard Mayo, they're going to get over it and they're going to realize that, like, they don't have control over that. Belichick is, if we believe what he said, always, is trying to do the best thing to win. I mean, do we think Belichick really threw the Super Bowl?
Of course not.
Okay.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I keep having that inkling of a thought in my brain, but I go, that's stupid. There's no way he threw the Super Bowl. Belichick wants 6 Super Bowls, right? He wants to change his boat's name again, right? He does. He loves. What does Belichick love? Super Bowls. And giving really old stories about football. Like, that's 2 favorite things in the world. Winning Super Bowls and telling old stories about football history.
Look, I was really pissed when he cut Lauren Malloy. He was right.
I was pissed with Mankins. I was pissed with Seymour.
I was pissed
when he did Welker. He's been right all the time. Right?
See, this one's a little bit different because it's the last game of the year.
Well, this
it's not before.
I told you this is different because this literally could have cost you. We can't prove it, but it literally could have cost you a Super Bowl.
Full disclosure, my personal.
Because I honestly don't give a.
My personal feeling, I don't think it would have mattered.
I think it would have.
I don't.
I'm not saying you definitely win the game, but I think it would have made a difference to some degree. And I don't know how much of a difference, but that difference could have been enough to make you win. I also can tell you this. I don't care if they sign Malcolm Butler again. But
he's gone. See you later.
Yeah, you shouldn't have sat the dude for the Super Bowl. Because if I'm trying to win a game, either that or if you're sitting to him, everyone should be knowing this 3 days in advance. That's a major thing for a team's psyche. Okay? There's a trickle-down effect. We've talked about this. Some of the articles I have wrote about it. Okay? Because I have a lot of paperwork in front of me, just so you guys know. But there's a trickle-down effect. When you take away a best corner, you don't just hurt the corner position in one spot. You hurt it everywhere. Because now your second best corner has to cover the best guy. The third best corner has to bump up the second best corner and everything. It's a trickle-down effect of weakening every position. He legitimately weakened every position except Stephon Gilmore in the Super Bowl. So those 4 other, because they played a nickel a lot, those 4 other defensive back positions were weakened. Because you just took out your second best cover guy, correct? Mm-hmm. Say Gilmore's the best. We'll just throw that out there. He's been much better recently than Butler has. Gilmore's the best. So you take away the second best guy. You take away the second best hitter in the lineup. How does that lineup look in baseball? When everyone has to shift. A lot weaker, right? Mm-hmm. When Ortiz falls out of a lineup, he's usually the best hitter. But how does that lineup look?
Different.
Right. That's what this was.
Look to last year.
It becomes a trickle-down. It doesn't affect just the spot that guy's in, because every other spot has to shift.
Look at Hanley Ramirez last year without Ortiz from the season before with Ortiz.
Right. That's maybe Batamosi would have been great as the 4th cover guy, but not when he's...
Remember Ortiz had a couple of down years?
Yeah.
People never mentioned that he didn't have Manny Ramirez batting behind him anymore.
That's huge.
It's a factor.
In the beginning when Ortiz was on his ascension, a lot of it was because they couldn't pitch around Ortiz because of Manny. Manny was a beast. Manny was better than Ortiz. Let's just be real. I love Ortiz more as a Red Sox because of his personality.
Ortiz was a little bit more clutch.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that. I'm saying Manny was a better player. More talented.
Better hitter.
Well, Ortiz in the fucking field, so yeah.
Ortiz.
Oh, better hitter. Oh, okay. So he's not better than Ortiz?
Ortiz is probably a better first baseman than Manny was an outfielder.
Yeah, but
Manny
Ortiz never
wasn't
did
a good
anything.
outfielder.
Yeah,
That's why you can't go strictly by the stats, because the stats will tell you he's a good outfielder, and he wasn't.
he was okay in Fenway. Because everyone ran on him, he threw him out.
Yeah, because he played shallow.
That's all you gotta do in Fenway.
He was good at playing the wall. When you got out to the
Yeah, he didn't have to do anything. He
When you
just
got
sat in a
to-
spot, it bounced off the wall, he took it and threw a guy
Yeah,
out.
what about when they were on the road in Detroit and that Yellowstone Park and there was a ball would
Let's
roll
be
all the way
honest,
to the
though. If
row?
Ortiz could field, Manny would have been DHing. Am I wrong?
Manny liked to play the field, though. He hated DHing.
I'm just letting you know.
As weird as that is.
Let's talk about the Patriots and their cap situation, okay?
Go ahead.
Because we're going to go forward, and I already told you. I think
Oh,
the
by the
Patriots,
way, the Celtics didn't do anything.
they signed him in a row.
No, we mentioned that last week.
Yeah, but they actually officially signed him.
All right, so the Celtics didn't make a move at the deadline. The Cavs, by the way, Isaiah, he's so
Shut
good.
your face.
He's so
By the way,
he is so good.
For the
that he got
record-
traded again.
just so you can be extra happy about it, he's supposedly already causing problems with the Lakers.
How?
They said he's going to come off the bench, and he would refuse and said he wants to be a starter.
All right, well,
Now, supposedly, Lou said that Ball and Isaiah are going to start together, dual point guards. Just
Well-
letting you know.
I'm not happy about it at all because it's close to cap space for them.
I'm not happy about all. It clears up cap space for the Lakers. It probably makes them better now.
I
And
do
when-
want them to sign LeBron, though.
When it makes them better now, it actually hurts that pick. You know that, right? Potentially hurts the pick. when we
Sure,
get-
but I would actually, A, rather have Sacramento's pick next year. And
We already
B,
talked about that. I agree.
and B, I want LeBron to go out there.
Look at that, though.
Do you know why I want LeBron to go out there? Because he'll run that franchise into the ground just like he's doing the Cavs
And I'm not trying
twice.
to. I'm not trying to hash on it again, but this should have been a timeout right there.
I know. Put it away.
But that's a timeout that saves you 50. Say it saves you 45 seconds.
I'm not going to watch SportsCenter for the next month.
Saves you 45 seconds, okay? If Tom Brady has a minute 15 instead of 35 seconds, is that going to be a difference?
Yeah.
You think you can get in field goal
Sure
range
is.
in a minute 15? The way he was playing?
hmm
What ended up happening at the
By
end
the
of the
way,
first half?
I'm going to kind of get off McDaniel's case.
I'm not. Talked about it with a guy earlier. He was like, talking about Steve Shiloh at work.
That wasn't.
By the way, guy calls EEI all the time. Steve from Norwood. That's my boy Steve. My boy Steve from Norwood. So he goes, yeah, but you can't shut up McDaniels anymore. I'm like, yeah, I can, Steve, and I'll tell you why. That was all Tom Brady. I was like, you put me out there as offensive coordinator. What does Brady look like? Tom fucking Brady. It doesn't change anything, Scotty. It doesn't. If you're out there calling, first of all,
They put up 33 points. They didn't lose because of McDaniels. That's my point.
hey, when they had to kick that field goal, why? Down to the 17-yard line. Well, the next 3 play calls. First possession of the game.
One was a run.
Oh, second possession, I think it was. 3 runs in a row. Run, sweep with Cooks. Oh, third down. Have to kick the field goal.
Should have been a first down.
Missed the field goal.
Should have been first.
My
down.
point is, you don't run 3 times in a row with Tom Brady.
By the way, why was Cooks just hanging out in no man's land after that catch?
Because he's
got
an
lit
idiot.
up?
He's an idiot. He doesn't have good football instincts. That's the truth. He's a very talented player. He's just not a great player. I yell a lot and say he sucks because he makes too many drops or too many boneheaded mistakes. And he can't fight through any type of contact. Let me explain something to you. Tom Brady brought them down the field. Who do you bring home, Scotty?
What are you talking about?
Who do you bring home? The girl you brought to the dance. Right?
What are you doing with this analogy?
Tom Brady brought you all the way there.
Okay.
You don't start running the ball 3 times in a row. Anyone that ever runs the ball 3 times in a row with Tom Brady should be shot on spot. Been over this. Can't fix stupid. Tom Brady can average 10 yards a pass, and you're going to run the ball 3 times in a row. Think about that
I
for a
don't know
minute.
what you want me to say.
So don't be sitting here and be like, oh, McDaniels was good. No, McDaniels was meh. Tom Brady was great.
He
He's
didn't,
different.
cost you the game.
I didn't say cost you the game. I didn't say that. I'm just saying. Let's not act like he's suddenly good. Because
The missed field goal was a bad spot. Everyone's getting on Gostowski. The extra point, inexcusable. Understood. That was a bad.
This is the issue, though. Once
That was a
Gostkowski
bad.
misses
It was a
something,
bad snap on the field goal.
yeah. Once Gostkowski misses something, though, it's in his head. He's been like that.
All right, get to your cap.
All right, Patriots have $13.9 million in cap space. Not a lot, okay. But they can.
Really quick before you get Gronk's not fucking becoming a movie star.
You know that?
He'll be on the field next year.
You think so?
Book it. Mm-hmm.
He's been talking to The Rock and Sylvester Stallone.
Brady's gonna sit him down and say, "We're all coming back. Just come back." This could be the last time. Just stick around one more year. Then go make your movies, go on Nickelodeon, whatever the fuck.
But did you see Gronk when they asked him about it after the Super Bowl?
Have you seen Gronk act?
Yeah, he sucks. My cousin talked about it.
I can even
my cousin. It was funny because I talked to my other tech chain is a couple of my cousins. And my cousin Tom was like, "Yeah, but I don't think he can act though."
He can't act. I could. You know what? He could.
They're like, I seen him in the commercials. He's not that good.
I can even see him doing the wrestling. Being a Hollywood actor, just no.
The thing with wrestling though is you get injured there too. You really do.
Unless they make like a new Rocky movie and he plays like Drago's son or something, because he kind of looks like him.
Drago, what's his name? Like Dragon
Smash.
But these are guys the Patriots could clear up some cap space with. Okay, they cut Gillislee, Harris, Dwayne Allen, Shea McClellan, Gostkowski, Kenny Britt and Dorsett, Alan Branch, who by the way didn't play in the Super Bowl, and they extend Cooks. They could extend Cooks, give him a $20 million signing bonus, 4 extra years, and give him a backloaded contract with $5.5 million in base salary this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's actually a decent deal for Cooks, by the way. That'll give you a $37.1 million in cap space.
And you know Bill never spends in the cap, so you're talking really more like $20 million. He always likes to have a little buffer there.
Right, but what I'm saying is...
He never spends... That was one of my biggest criticisms of him for years. There'd be $20, $30 million under the cap. He never spent to the cap.
That's because he always wants the flexibility.
I understand he wants the flexibility. I understand it now. But you know what? If you're real... Let's just...
Now, say you get rid of Marty Bennett or he retires, that's an extra $6.2 million.
I'd bring him back if he wants to play.
If he wants to play, but he might retire.
Probably will.
That's $43.3 million in cap space. $43 million in cap space? Even if you're only going to spend 30 of it, you can do a lot. You can do a lot with $30 million in cap space.
Front 7. All front.
You can do a lot.
All front 7.
Now say, this is the.
By the way, I'm not going to try to like pat myself on the back here, but I told everybody all season I don't trust this defense. I was telling you guys September.
That's the Cooks extension.
They can't win a Super Bowl with this defense, did I not? And they didn't.
Oh, yeah, but I think if Butler was in, it would be a little different. You don't sit one of your best defensive players for no reason.
That's not going to change the fact that the defense was lousy all year. Terrible.
Yeah, but that's me being like, hey, there's not a good analogy for it because it doesn't happen. It's like sitting Larry Bird in the finals. It makes no sense. It's a basketball decision.
You really compared Malcolm Butler to Larry Bird.
No, I'm telling you there's an impact there. Okay, Kevin McHale. It's like sitting Kevin McHale in the finals.
No, it'd be like sitting Scott Wedman in like a finals game.
No, it'd be sitting Cornbread in the finals he won MVP in.
No.
Yeah.
Not a good comparison.
Butler won you a Super Bowl, bro.
Yeah, that was 3 years ago.
Okay. Who's to say he couldn't have won you a Super Bowl this year?
People still forget that he sucked in the Atlanta Super Bowl last year. And he sucked in the first 2 playoff games. He sucked in the first 2 playoff games.
He wasn't good. I'll give you that.
He sucked.
Was he worse than Jordan Richards?
No, he's better. I'm better than Jordan Richards.
Okay. If you give Brady a extension, by the way, you could free up even more space.
I don't know how long Tom wants to play.
Till 45, right?
I think he's good for the next 2 years at least.
I think he's good for 2 to 3 more years, probably. That's a contract extension from Brady. He's not going to take it now, and I'll tell you why. But that's a realistic contract extension I made previously for Brady.
45? Play until he's 45.
That's what he wants to do, right? Explain something to you. Tom Brady?
2 more years.
Tom Brady ain't taking a big, huge hometown discount now. Do you want to know why? Jimmy Garoppolo just made like $5 billion. What I will tell you is...
I don't think Brady cares.
I do.
You think he detests this guy that much?
I think he detests the fact that his backup has 2 Super Bowl rings and has all this stuff, and everyone says he's like the greatest thing ever. Jimmy Garoppolo making songs about him.
We'll see next year.
Now he has the most money in NFL history in a contract. I think to some extent that pisses Brady off. Just like drafting him probably did like somewhat.
People overrate the money.
Did
you realize?
I don't mean the money.
You realize a couple of years ago, Mike Conley, good player, Mike Conley was
became the
highest
highest paid. Yes, I do know
in the
that.
history of basketball.
Do you know for quite a long time, even after he wasn't in the league anymore, Stevie Francis was making more money than almost everyone else in the NBA?
Bobby Bowes still makes $1 million a year from the Mets.
I know he does. We talk about this all the time. Doesn't he have payments like 2022 or whatever it was?
Something like that. Yeah, it was like a 30-year.
It's like $1 million a year.
No, it's a $30 million contract, but it was like a 30-year deal.
Yeah.
It's actually really smart.
Yeah,
So,
it's like winning the lottery.
No, if you ever go broke, like, okay, I got $1 million coming to me in a couple of months.
It's like winning the lottery, yeah. It's like how you get paid every year winning the lottery. Oh, man. It's actually until 2035.
$1.19 million through 2035.
Jesus Christ.
By 2035, $1.19 million will be like beer money. We'll all be making $1.19 million.
Oh, wow. Just crazy. Got his first payment in 2011. Unbelievable.
He had been retired about 10 years already.
It's just the way they structured the contract.
Wow.
Think about it, though. You think the Mets care? They sent him $1.19 million. They're like, here you go, buddy.
Okay.
That becomes less money each year. I guess he gets interest as well. He gets 8% interest added on every year. It's not a bad deal.
No. Better than what we make.
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, if someone was like, I'm going to give you $1.19 million for the next 35 years, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to go over there now. Thanks.
I'm gonna put you on the hot seat. How many more years does Belichick coach?
2.
I think he's done after this year.
I thought that originally, but now I'm thinking 2.
Why 2?
I think he still has a desire, and I think he still wants his kids to get a firmer foot. I also think he realizes he could still win another Super Bowl or 2. The AFC is still weak. The Patriots should still be the best team in the AFC.
I think he wants to go all in and win it next year, and then he's walking away.
Look, if he goes out and signs like 5 players and goes to the cap and goes balls to the wall, then I'll agree with you.
We're going to have to wait and see.
It's true.
By the way, you could just keep McDaniels on as offensive coordinator, and Brady could really Bill Russell it and win 2 Super Bowls as player coach.
Well, he is player coach already. I was listening.
No, I'm talking like head coach.
No, but I was listening to somebody the other day, and they were basically like, yeah, Tom Brady's like a coach on the field, because he really is. Like, when Billy O'Brien was talking about coaching Tom Brady, he's like, coaching Tom Brady is the hardest job in the world. He's like, and I'll tell you why. You send a play into him, and if it sucks, he's like, we're not doing that. And he immediately changes the play and gives you a bunch of crap for calling it.
Yeah, he threw a post route to Matt Slater in that playoff game against Baltimore. One of the worst calls ever.
Dude, everyone makes bad calls.
Matt Slater.
They threw a bunch of post routes to Matt Slater against Denver. Granted, no one else was on the team in 2013, but do you remember that?
Well, they were kind of forced into it.
Right. There was like, everyone's injured. Just throw it deep to Slater. You know when you're throwing it to Slater, there's something wrong with the offense. I love Matthew Slater.
To a man, I think Belichick said before that game, he looked at the roster, he goes, we don't have a prayer. We're just too beat up.
Well, I think until Talib went down, I think he actually thought while Talib was injured, he had some kind of...
Like, they lost that game by 10, but they were down 26
dude, they were down,
3 or whatever.
it was basically like an 80-0 blowout.
Yeah.
Like, Brady made it look respectable because it's Tom Brady. He makes every game look respectable.
Well, they only scored 16 points. I think
but it looked respectable. 26-16. He had that run in for... He blew by Knighton for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of his best runs of his career, like with the Urlacher run. Think about that.
So you got your wish. Brady got his regular season MVP. It's 3rd.
Yeah.
Now I can... Now you can stop bitching about it.
I would have preferred
I hope he
Super Bowl.
I hope he doesn't win it next year, because then they'll have a chance to win the Super Bowl.
I don't believe in that curse.
That curse continues.
That curse is so stupid, because Gerard Mayo even explained. Gerard Mayo explained. In most sports, the MVP doesn't win.
Did Brady break the Madden curse? He's never played better. Should have won the Super Bowl. Didn't, but...
Right. Again, I think Brady's legacy was actually enhanced in a Super Bowl loss, which doesn't happen. It doesn't. Name me a quarterback.
Do you think it would? How much? This is a serious question. How higher do you think it would have won if they had won? Went if
Brady?
Won? Yeah.
If Brady had won.
How much higher could it really go?
Okay. If Brady had won the Super Bowl and not got strip sacked there and brought them and they won and put up, it would have been like 530 yards or whatever it would have been.
Yeah.
540, whatever. Yeah. And they scored a touchdown and he won. He would have been MVP again. They probably would have had to end humanity. Because there'd be no one better than Tom Brady ever. Seriously. He'd surpass Jordan. He'd surpass Ali. He'd be way better than anyone in soccer history. You don't do that. It's not like Pele scored a game-winning goal every time.
What about Jack Nicklaus if you want to get into like all sports?
Yeah, better than Jack. Everything. Because Jack has a ton of majors, right? And a ton of second places. So does Brady. I mean, it's different, but not majors. But and what do people always say about
18 majors?
18 majors, and I think 19 second places. 14.
He's never going to win.
Federer has 20 now, I think.
You remember there was a time that everyone thought Tiger was going to blow by Nicklaus.
Yeah.
The majors.
And my dad always said, he said, look, don't put him there till he's there. He's like, he could be the greatest golfer ever, but he's still behind Jack till he passes him. My dad was right. It's true. My dad's a huge golfer.
He's never winning another major.
Right. We talked about that.
There's too many good young golfers.
We talked about that in 2013. Actually, he's never won another one again.
Even though I don't like the guy personally, it's more interesting when he's in it, though.
Of course it's more. Dude.
Way more interesting.
I root for greatness. There's no reason to not root for greatness.
Like, people hate the Yankees around here. Understandable. Wasn't it, like, good for baseball having the Yankees go to the 7th game of the championship series, honestly?
Scotty, I root for greatness. That's it. Sports. I want to see sports. I know sports. I want to see sports. I want to see crazy. I want to see the unexpected, but I root for greatness.
She didn't even listen to our last one. Screw her.
If people are going to get mad about the Patriots being great, they're ridiculous. It is true. Human beings prefer, if they don't have a rooting interest, to root for an underdog. Do you want to know why?
The last 18 years,
it's psychological.
The last 18 years, if the Patriots like had been the Cowboys, and I hate the Cowboys, like I wouldn't appreciate the great. Like I would respect it, I would still hate it. That's where it is now. I think there are people who respect the Patriots, but everyone hates the Patriots.
Did you hate the 49ers?
No, because I hated the Cowboys. The 49ers back in the 90s, like because the Patriots were so mediocre.
Did you hate the Chicago Blackhawks?
The Chicago Black? No.
I mean, it's not the same exactly, but
the Niners isn't a good comparison. I'll tell you why. I hated the Cowboys. I didn't like the Packers. Steve Young was like my idol. Like
you also didn't get the early 90s.
Well, no,
I
was like the Niners.
Neither did I really.
The Niners were my second team.
Packers were my second team.
See, I always rooted for San Fran over Green Bay.
No, Antonio Freeman. Those guys were awesome.
Steve Young was better than Favre. I would go to my grave. Steve Young.
John Elway is the all-decades quarterback in that decade.
No way.
He is, though.
Young was better than...
Young was the best quarterback of the decade, in my opinion. Or Young or Favre. It was close. Favre won 3 MVPs,
I'd take Steve Young.
I know you always shit on Favre. Favre won 3 MVPs. He went to... you got to realize, part of the reason he doesn't have more Super Bowls is because he had to play Dallas and San Francisco earlier on. He had to beat those guys.
Dallas and San Fran were out of the way after.
It was like when everyone says, "Oh, Jordan had to beat the Celtics, and then Jordan had to beat the friggin' Pistons," which, by the way, he never really beat either of them. But
he waited until they got old.
Right. But Favre,
the Pistons waited out the Celtics, and then the
San Fran wasn't a piece of shit team by the time Green Bay was winning. You keep saying they were, they weren't.
They weren't the same though. They got old at a lot of positions.
They were 12-4 when Green Bay won the Super Bowl.
And Steve Young was and is the greatest dual threat quarterback ever.
Oh yeah, I remember Jameel Hill said something about, what if Michael Vick was white? I was like, if he was white and more talented, he'd be Steve Young. Yeah, it's that simple. Like if he was white and more talented, Steve Young.
God, she sucks. All right, I don't have much to add. Do you have anything else to add?
I don't even remember what we talked about.
We talked about how they had it and went right through the fingers.
Goddamn Wes Welker all over again, but it was Bill Belichick dropping it. They tossed him to Lombardi and he fumbled it.
Nope. Brady put him ahead with 8 minutes left. Defense could not make a play.
But I have a question for you. We've talked about this. How hard is it to stop somebody when they go in 4 on 4th? What do I always hate, and I always tell you? Perpetual 4th down.
See, I'm not...
Peterson was going to go for it regardless.
What if...
To stop someone from 10 yards
What if it was
downs?
like 4th and 8 with like 6 minutes left? He's going to punt.
I don't know, man.
He's going to punt.
The way he was playing, he was balls to the wall. We talked about this before. You said you trust Doug Peterson. I said, we talked about Atlanta, and I said, you can't crucify someone that goes balls to the wall against Patriots because every team that doesn't go balls to the wall always loses. Doug Peterson went balls to the wall.
This doesn't happen often. Belichick was outcoached.
By far.
He was outcoached.
Wasn't close. Peterson also said, Philly, get used to this. It's going to keep happening.
And
I mean, what's he going to say at a rally?
Patriot fans don't want to hear this, but it's true. The better team won. Better team won.
We predicted it.
We did.
They have a better lineup. They have a better.
I have no reason.
line.
I have no reason to lie to my listeners now. This wasn't a reverse jinx. I thought Philly was going to win, and they did. And why?
We told them. We said we're not reverse.
And
jinxing.
why?
They have a better team.
Because the defense sucks.
That's line play, bro. Been over this. I told you, trenches. Where do you win games?
Offensive line was fine.
But where do you win games?
The trenches.
Did we ever get to Nick Foles?
No.
He's still back there smoking a cigarette. Okay?
Did they ever get to Brady? Oh, well, other than
They
the last
did.
play of the game?
All you needed was once. When it came down to the trenches and making one play more than the other team, they made that one play. Now, if it came down to the secondary, I don't know because we didn't have us in there. It is a big deal.
As Bill would say, it is what it is.
Malcolm Butler said it is what it is.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to check us out on www.gamesadventures.com. Go to YouTube, type in Chris and Cash podcast. And we'll talk to you next week. Hopefully we'll be in a better mood and we'll have something pleasant to talk about. Maybe they'll go out and like, I don't know.
Coax Megatron out of retirement.
See, they don't need him. They need to get LT out of retirement.
Dude, he won't be allowed to play.
Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, go get all these
Why
guys.
can't I play, Coach? You blew another line off. Hook his ass.
See you next week.